Good evening, and welcome to Build Your Best Life with Coach Deborah D. Smith. I am super excited to have you here today. You know, it is all about your actions, your facial expressions, the tone of your voice, your gestures, even the movement of your eyes, all speak volumes are what people see. So be careful the actions that you show to others because believe me, they are watching. Our theme for August is Be on Fire, and that is focusing with intentionality, realism, and enthusiasm. So that's what we have been talking about all month. And can you believe we're at the end of the month already? So I am super excited today to have a closing out our month. My special guest, Pastor Angela Marks. Hi, Angela.
Hi, Coach Deborah. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for being here with us. And we're going to be talking about bogus focus.
Yes.
Bogus focus today. So I hope you all are ready for this. And I guess you say, what is that? I've never heard of that before. Well, without strong, intentional, and meaningful focus, you have bogus focus. And there is no room for that in the sphere of your world if you're trying to build your best life. Putting it in layman's terms, you should always prefer to have bonus focus. That means that you are trying to be your best in all phases of your life, whether it's learning, reasoning, perception, memory, decision making, problem solving, whatever it is, you should always want to be on your A game and bring that bonus focus, not bogus. So that's what we will be talking about today. But we're going to get started by having Pastor Marks tell us all about herself.
Good evening. Good evening. My name is Angela Marks, and I'm from the beautiful state of North Carolina. I reside in Fayetteville, North Carolina. And people see me do children's ministry, which what I'm mostly known for, especially on social media and things like that. But I'm also a GIS analyst. So that's Geographical Information Systems Analyst for the city of Fayetteville. So I work for our local municipality in the solid waste department. But most importantly, I love children's ministry. I have a heartbeat for children. And so I've had the opportunity to teach and minister and train so many people in so many various churches and denominations in children's ministry. And this year, I'm excited that I'm going to be a main stage speaker for the Children's Ministry Conference MegaCon in Nashville, Tennessee this year. So I'm super excited about that. And so, yeah, I call myself a small town girl with a big vision.
Yes, that is awesome. And you are carrying that torch too, girl. Work it,
Yeah.
work it, work it. Yeah, we are so happy for you to be on that platform. So I know you will do amazing. But again, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to share with us today.
Yes.
I want to say hello to Deacon Henry Holmes. Thank you for tuning in. But you know, our theme this year started out with actions. It's all about actions. Therefore, I have talked about people and their actions consistently throughout the year. And each person is responsible for his or her own actions.
Yes.
Students, young adults, parents, leaders, educators, and others, they all need to do their best at whatever they do in life. Being focused is a huge aspect of being better. You gotta have that focus. So, you know, some people are all about being on top of everything. However, they don't display any intentionality or concentration. They get things done without concern for the quality of what they're doing, the quantity of the timeliness. They just get it done. These people, in my opinion, have a bogus focus. What are your thoughts about this, Pastor Marks?
Um, you know, one of the things is that you can be on top of everything, but the quality of your work speaks for how you care about what you're doing. And so you can want to be on top of everything, but the thing about being on top of everything is that you're going to miss something. And when you're not focused, and I think sometimes I'm reading this book which is called The Focus Project, and one of the things it says, it talks about the different type of animals that we could be a hedgehog, we could be a squirrel, a chameleon, but a lot of people are what they're called the army ant. The army ant thinks it can carry everything. And so, although the army ant is doing everything and carrying everything, something is going to not have real quality because it's doing so much. And I think that's the thing about this concept. You can have a lot of great projects and be on top of everything, but what really shows or kind of displays who you are in your work is the quality and quantity of what you produce. So it's not how much you have or how much you're doing, it's the product or the end result of what you're producing. Does it look good? Is it something that someone wants to purchase or partake in? And so I think
Mhm.
it's very detrimental to a person to be on top of everything, but lose the fact that what they're producing is not quality. Nobody wants anything that's half done or missing some kind of components. And so I think that a lot of people have a pure desire to want to produce things, but it's different than having a desire and want to produce and actually producing something that has quality. And that's one of the things I always make sure. I get on myself sometimes because it's like, yeah, there's a deadline and you want to be on top of it, but are you taking the steps to plan out to make sure that your end result or product looks good and that people are going to want to invest in, right? And so,
Right.
yeah, bogus focus is something that we don't need. We need to work on quickly.
Most definitely. Most definitely. I agree. But that is, I mean, that's just so true. Now, the book that you mentioned, the Focus Project, that sounds very interesting. Who is the
Yeah.
author of that book?
The author is called a guy named Equal Man.
Okay. I love to
Equal
read.
Man,
That
the
sounds
Focus
very
Project.
interesting.
Yes.
I forget me a copy. Well, you know, I just think about that all the time because I
Mhm.
know that, focusing is so important,
Yeah.
like when you talk about all this multitasking stuff, we know that our brain doesn't multitask because it can only focus on one
One
function at a
thing.
time.
Yeah.
So, that's something I think a lot about. Now, do you agree that now bonus focus, that is your reasoning, decision making, problem solving, and learning, are better based on your ability to focus intently? And why or why not?
And I do because I believe that when you when you hone in on one thing and you can take the time to structure that out and map that out and focus, you know, you have the ability to really make sure that whatever you're doing or whatever you're working on is executed properly. You know, it's kind of, you can't be double minded. You can't have multiple things going on. And I hear a lot of young people say, oh, Miss Angie, I can multitask. I can do my homework, watch TV, and listen to music. And in my mind, I'm saying, you think you can, but you can't because eventually one or the other is pulling you. And so I think that when we think about that, we have to really understand that it's better for us to intentionally focus intensely on one thing because we want to make sure that one thing is done. Everything is not perfect or perfected, but it tells a lot about the amount of work and time you invested in one particular thing. And then once you've completed that, then you can move on to something else. I think that's our struggle because we know a lot of times we have a lot of things on our plate we need to get done. And sometimes it's in a short amount of time that we have to complete a task. And so sometimes we find ourselves working on multiple projects at one time. But you can work on multiple projects and still be intensely focused on each one of those when you take the time to manage your time wisely and invest in what you're doing.
All right. And I think as long as we don't, I'm over here and then I turn around and I'm over here and I'm back and forth and I'm like, oh, my email just went off. But, that's just too much. The brain is like,
Yes.
what is she doing? But yeah, I'm working on this. I've got to get it done. It's going to take me a couple hours, but it's okay if I stop for maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Well, I need to pull this and work on this for 5 minutes.
Yes.
But I'm focused on that then for those 5 minutes. So
Yes.
yeah, that I agree. That's great. So since we're saying that that focus is so essential in the way we think, the way we do things, why do you think people are okay performing various tasks and producing mediocre results because they didn't focus?
Because a lot of people will accept work that way sometimes. And I think, sometimes at my job, I see people working on things and when they turn in stuff, it doesn't look good, but it gets accepted anyway. And I'm like, I remember in college when our papers used to come back and you had a big fat F or a zero. I'm like, you got to rewrite that paper all over again. And I think sometimes we get comfortable in use to turning in things and completing tasks a certain way where they are accepted. And then you look back and you say, that is not my best work. That is not the best that I could have given if I would have focused and really honed in. One of the things I was doing a class at my job, like a training, and it talked about when you come in the morning, check your email, go through your voicemail messages, get all those things out of the way. So when you get ready to work on something, you have focus. You don't have all these things going on. And I think sometimes we just allow ourselves to get so caught up in other things that we tend to turn in stuff that's not our best work. And I know as kids, the teachers always says, work hard, spend time, take time working on it, because nobody wants to turn in things that is not good. But I always say, if you can turn in something and get away with it the first time, you will go back and try to turn in something mediocre the next time. And sometimes we have to be our own critic and say, is this my best work? Is this the best I could do? But never accept mediocre as being okay. And that's one of the things, especially for people that are goal setters. A lot of times, those of us that set goals and we are intentional in our work and because we're passionate about what we do. A
Mhm.
lot of times, if you're not passionate about your work, you'll turn in anything. If you're not happy with your job, you'll execute your job just because it's your job, you're there and you'll do it. But when you're passionate about your work, you'll invest in it. And I think that's one reason why tasks and things are done very mediocre, because the question is, are you really passionate about what you're doing and what you're working on? If not, the results will be you turning in or doing anything.
Oh, I agree wholeheartedly. You talking some good stuff there, and I mean you can just see it sometimes in work. It's been a long time since I worked in corporate America, but I can remember, like taking over something from somebody, and maybe it's a spreadsheet, and they, every month they just take that, pull it up, and change numbers or whatever, and you get it, and you like, huh? Something on there spelled wrong. So for the past year, you've been turning this in to the vice president and you have misspelled words on here. You got the wrong year down there. And
Yeah.
it's like, really? Nobody ever said anything? So it's just amazing. And you gave a key word, passion. You
Passion.
know, a lot of people don't have that passion or they don't care about what it is that they do. Well, I'm here as long as I get X amount done in so many hours, I'm good.
Yeah.
But I know I was raised that I don't care what you do, you better do it to the best of your ability. If you're
Yeah.
not going to do it to the best of your ability, let somebody else do it. So
And
it's
then
not.
those of us that are believers, we're taught work as you're working unto the Lord. So if
Yeah.
we're if that's what we believe, then as we work, we're going to give our best effort and put our best foot forward in what we're doing, because we're working not unto the boss, not unto the corporation or the business, but our work is actually we're
Yes.
giving it to the Lord, and we want him to accept it and not reject it. It's kind of
That's
like Cain and Abel. You didn't give your best. So
okay.
it's unacceptable.
Don't get mad now. Right. That is a great example. Yes, I love it. And I want to say good evening. We have some people to join. Dan, Agnes, Carolyn, I think that's Bert's,
Mhm.
Brian, what's Brian's last name? Garrett, Agnes Copeland. Thank you all for tuning in. And, Pastor Angela Marks and I are talking about bogus focus. And that's what you don't want to have. You want to have some bonus focus. Yes.
That's it.
So, talking about people as they do different things, and again, thinking about focus. Research indicates that the number one reason that people cannot focus is that they're tired.
Mm.
And I just found that so amazing. But they said in this research, they use mice, of course, but they said
Mhm.
that 25% of those mice lost their locus neutrons after 3 days, only 3 days of sleeping, only 4 to 5 hour days. So you got
Wow.
this little gap you sleeping, well, I don't need to sleep. I can stay up and watch TV. I can stay up and play video games. I can stay up and cram because I haven't been studying. So now I got to get this paper done tonight or whatever, but that actually makes you tired and
Mhm.
causes you to lose focus.
Yes.
So, Angela, in your opinion, why is it that middle school and high school age kids that they can fully function off minimal sleep, and then also older individuals, they don't get enough rest because they're thinking the same thing and they need just as much sleep?
I think one of the reasons is I think the more technology has evolved and the more we have access to different ways of communication and different ways and modes of entertainment, it has consumed our time. So
Mhm.
even if sometimes we get home from work or we get home from school where we should decompress, we're picking up another device. So our young people, they're picking up a video game system. They still have their phone in their hands. And what they don't understand is all that consumption is draining their energy. So by the time it's bedtime and they're up for hours and hours because they've spent all their time at school, they're on their devices and stuff, then they go to sleep and they wake up restless because their mind and body has not had the opportunity to decompress and rest. And then it also tells us, sometimes I was reading something that says that you should put down your electronics and all of that an hour or two before you even go to bed so you can be well rested. And what people don't understand, especially our young people, your health has a lot to do with how well you focus. And we know that you cannot be alert and attentive in the classroom when you're tired. You can't pay attention and understand what is being taught when you're tired. And even for our older adults, even for us, middle age, we consider ourselves to be multitaskers. But what we don't understand, because we say we carry many bags. So as women, we're mom, we're CEO, we're businesswoman, we're sister, we're friend, and so we carry all these different responsibilities and roles, and we have to try to manage them, but it's difficult when we don't take the time to decompress and rest ourselves. And so we have to understand that as much as we think we can function off minimal sleep and we think we can give our best selves, we can't, because eventually your body is going to shut down or tell you, I don't want to do nothing else. I don't
Yeah.
want to think. I don't want to. And so that's why we find ourselves not being able to get the proper amount of sleep. And our health begins to take a hit for that. Because when you don't get enough sleep, guess what? it starts to affect the inside of your body. It starts to affect these headaches that tend to come out of nowhere. And so that's why we have to understand that our health is directly our focus is directly affected by our health. And so we got to make sure that we get the proper sleep, and then we schedule and be able to manage life so that we're well rested, so we can focus, especially on our young people. Put your
Mhm.
devices down. I mean, take a moment to breathe. Do something you haven't done in a while. Go outside and get some fresh air.
Yes. Yeah, it's amazing. You get on those devices and you don't want to get out, and they keep telling us that the lights from those devices impacts, the brain waves in your eyes,
Yeah.
and we still get there. So I do a little bit better now. I say, oh, so an hour before I need to put this thing down,
Mhm.
because that was my way of unwinding. After being on the computer all day, then I want to go look at iPad the rest of the night. So we have to. And I know, these teenagers just have so much stamina and
Yeah.
energy and pep, and they just think they're going to keep it always, but your body needs the rest as well. And, sometimes you get sick and it's like, well, that came all of a sudden. I don't know what's wrong with me. I got up and I was just throwing up. I can't go to school or whatever, because your body's saying, hey, you since you can't understand I need the rest, you gonna sit it down somewhere today. We gonna
Yeah.
get rest today. But our bodies and minds will find a way to let you know eventually, hey, you need to shut it down.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that you want to be able to focus, because whether it is a job that you're on, schoolwork, debate team, whatever it is, it's not everything that you're doing it just because you need this grade or whatever. I'm sure there are things in life that we all have passion for. It's our
Yeah.
purpose. We want to do it, so we want to do it well, and then we can't understand why. Well, I put a lot of time in that. I don't understand why I got such a bad grade. Well, it's just like I sit up one night and I'm just doing this blog and I'm looking at it. Oh, yeah, it looks good. I ran it through Grammarly. Okay, everything's fine. Okay, I'm tired now. Let me put this down. Let me print it out so I can proof it before I put it online. I looked at that thing the next day and it was like, yes, you were tired. Because I don't know what those sentences were saying. So we have to focus. Okay, it has been stated over and over that focus impacts what we accomplish in life, because without direction, our issues block what we can achieve. In life, without direction, our issues block what we can achieve. What are your thoughts about that, Angela?
They do. And so, um, when we don't have a set direction of where we're going, if you don't know where you're going, you will find yourself anywhere. And so I believe that it's very important to set goals, but a lot of times people set goals and they can't find how to get to the goal because they've never established direction. But with that, it's kind of like having a desire to lose weight, right? So we have these New Year's resolutions sometimes that we write out. Okay, the beginning of the year, I'm going to lose 20 pounds, right? But you never took time to intentionally focus to say, what is the direction and path to get me to this place? Number
Mhm.
one, I need to implement water into my regimen. How many glasses of water do I need to take? What kind of foods do I have to back away from? And what kind of foods do I have to implement? And so the amazing thing about direction is where there is direction, there are actually milestones and steps along that path to get you to where you're going. And the thing about it is, once you reach the first milestone, you have to focus to get to the next one because you won't automatically just arrive. And I think that's why focus is so important because it impacts our pace, in how we're going to get there, because some people, they will set a goal, but it would take them much longer to get to where they're going because they're not intentionally focused, versus other people that every time they reach one milestone, they're steadily looking to get to the next. And as you continue to do that, you'll find yourself meeting every goal in life that you so desire. You know, I listened to this morning, I was listening to E.T., the hip hop preacher. And he says that we should wake up every morning. Once we write our goal down, we say, I can, I will, and I must. I can, I will, and I must. And with every goal, we need to affirm ourselves. But with your I can, you have to first understand that it's in you to be able to accomplish it. With I will, it must be your desire to want to. And I must means that I have to do it because there is either a generation waiting on me, there is either my family waiting on me. Me accomplishing this goal is going to lead to me making $1 million or put me in a better place. And that is what it means to have pure direction in where you're trying to go. And so that's my perspective on that. Without direction, I believe you're just wandering around trying to figure out what's going to happen next. And eventually you'll look back and you will live in a life of regret when all you had to do was pick a direction and be intentional in focusing on where you're trying to go, so it won't take you so long to get there.
That's good. That's very good. Yeah, and I always, tell people, it's just like you plan a trip. You wake up and you've been knowing all for the last couple months that you're going to take this trip, and you're driving, and so what city you're going to, but you get up the morning of the trip, and it's like, okay, everybody got the stuff packed. Oh, I got another load to wash. I got to wait till it dries. Okay, well. I'm gonna go out here and check the tires. Okay, you go out there and check the tire. Ooh, that was almost bald. You know what? We can't get on the road with this. I gotta go get a tire.
Your whole trip is messed up.
Right. But for 2 months you were going on this trip. Why you get up the morning of? Because you did not plan. You get that goal. That was a goal to take that vacation. So you didn't look at it. You didn't get any steps put down. We need to make sure the car is in good running order. Need to make sure all the clothes are washed up, pressed, whatever. We need to be packed at least a day ahead. You didn't do any of this stuff. But then, you wonder why everybody's in chaos and running around. And you told somebody you pick them up at 10. They might see you at 1. So it's the same thing with life. When you're setting those goals, you have to be intentional. Again, that word intentional. You have to be intentional. You just don't, because not everybody's talking about goals. You need to set those goals. You need to break them down. You need to make them plain. You just don't say, everybody else is getting goals, so I'm going to do the same thing.
Yeah.
And you're not intentional about them. So you're just writing them down, but you don't have any steps of how you're going to get there. No focus.
And there's something called the fear of missing out. It's called FOMO, the fear of missing out, where what people do is because someone else is doing it and they don't want to miss out, they'll jump on the bandwagon. And then what happens is they fail because they did not put in the proper steps and make the proper decision to get there. And so we can't just jump on into things because we don't want to miss out. And we have to be clear that we struggle to focus on seeing a task to its completion, because instead of waiting and properly taking those steps and planning, like you talked about, we're afraid that because we saw somebody else already get there, we're going to miss out. So we'll jump into it and not properly plan. And so I think that's another thing, that FOMO can really get to us because we don't want to miss out. But I would rather miss out on something and do it the right way than to get down the line and jump into it. And I wasn't intentionally focused.
Right. Well, this has been some great information. I hope everyone was listening. If you tuned in late and you didn't get it all, you need to go back and view this in its entirety. If there's someone that you think would have loved to hear this message or they need to hear this message, please, please, please share it. Please like my page. Also, go over to my Facebook page, my YouTube page, I'm sorry, and like my YouTube page as well. But this information will be out there, and I think it was just some great tidbits on to help everyone, regardless of your age, the importance of focusing on whatever it is that you're doing in life. It's not just school work or college work or work on the job, but it's if you're in ministry, you need to do the same thing. You know, if you are educator, a lawyer, whatever, you need to be doing some of the same things for your family as well. So I know this is some valuable information, and I want to make sure that I didn't miss anyone because I think some people were on with others. I think I didn't mention Mildred. I just want to say good evening to you and Juanita Hart. I think Cynthia Ferguson tuned in later. And I think that is everyone that I didn't mention. So Deacon Holmes, Dan Smith, Agnes Copeland, thank you all so much for tuning in. And I hope I got everybody. I appreciate it. So Pastor Marks, as we prepare to close out, can you please share how people can strengthen their focus? And then also tell everybody again, because some people came on later, basically what you're doing and how they can contact you.
Yes. So, a few ways I want to share with everybody how you can strengthen your focus. The first thing is be honest about your weaknesses. You know, when we can say that maybe planning is a weakness for me. Okay. Maybe time management is a weakness for me. Maybe distractions that I deal with sometimes can be certain distractions like your cell phone and things like that can be a weakness. Because when you can identify your weaknesses or those things that are keeping you distracted or not being able to focus, then you can begin to work on those things. Pick one thing at a time. All right, to work on as you begin to strengthen your focus. The second thing is you have to sometimes fast or purge from your distractions. If you want to increase your focus, you have to fast or purge from your distractions, and then pray and be intentional about praying and saying, God, this is something that is I'm struggling with when it comes to being focused. Can you help me? And allow the Holy Spirit to give you the strategies or tell you the things that will help you to deal with what is distracting you. Another thing I would say, if you want to strengthen your focus, is you have to have a growth mindset versus a fixed mindset. Be resilient. Sometimes we get off focus. Give yourself grace to be able to pick up and start back over again. And I think that's with all of us. All of us, sometime or another, have come into a position where we've gotten off track or off focus from something that we have really set our heart to. And so it's okay, but develop a growth mindset that even if you're working on something and it doesn't look like your best quality, you can go back and say, you know what, I'm going to try this again. That's what a growth mindset is. A fixed mindset is a mindset of failure where you just give up. And that doesn't strengthen your focus. It's when you will continue to work towards your goal of being more focused. Another thing that strengthens your focus is learning how to rest and take breaks. And we talked about that earlier today. Take the time to rest and reset. Resting and resetting. And I'm preaching to the choir when I'm saying this, but we want to make sure we rest and reset so that we can give our best selves and be more focused on what we're trying to do. We want to make sure that we give our best work. Okay, we're working unto the Lord. So we want to make sure that we give our best work. And another thing I would say is make sure that you take care of yourself holistically, mind, body, and spirit. We even covered that tonight. Mind, body, and spirit. Getting enough rest, making sure you're healthy, doing the things necessary. Because listen, one thing that feeds our focus is our energy. And so when we don't have energy and we're burnt out, we cannot give our best at what we do. And I think one more I want to share is if you struggle with focus, if you struggle with um, being intentional, it's okay to find a mentor that can help you through the process. One of the things that really uh, bogs down our focus is our procrastination. Procrastination is one of those things that really takes you off focus. And so sometimes we have to reach out to other people that have strategies and things that can help us to focus and be intentional about what we want to do. Mentorship is wonderful. And right here we have Coach Deborah on Build Your Best Life. An amazing coach. So get you a coach, get you a mentor, reach out to her so she can help you build your best life and be more intentional and focused so you can accomplish the purpose that God has placed on the earth for you to do. And those are a few of my things that I want to share with you concerning how to strengthen your focus.
Great tips. Great tips. I hope you all got them. Thank you. Who's Alicia Haddocks says chicken soup for the soul.
Yeah.
Yes. And I don't know who this is. Let's see. It's that worship here.
Mhm.
It says amen. And then I think Cynthia had something I hear. Cynthia Ferguson says it's okay to fail in trying than not trying at all. Fall
Yeah.
forward. Yes. You got to get out there and try.
Mhm.
That's so true. But thank you so much for all those tips. And if you could let everyone know how they can reach you and the work that you're doing.
Yes. So you can reach me on, of course, our social media outlets. I'm on Facebook. I also have an outreach ministry, a nonprofit I just started called With His Hands Outreach. And so you can look us up on Facebook under that. And also, I'm on Instagram, Angela M. Marks. And you can also find me at my website at www.angelamarks.org. And so those are all the ways that you can connect. We're going to be continuing to do different things to reach out and strengthen our young people. And one of the things that I just recently launched is something called Chocolate Chats. And that's for kids where after they get out of school, they can schedule a session with me online and they can just chat and unload their day and just talk. And so I'm looking forward to having chocolate chats with the kids. And then for teenagers, they can do the same thing. Their parents can go out and schedule a session where they can do chop it up chats with teenagers. So they can just talk about a little bit of their daily experiences at school and maybe get some insight and some help on things that they're struggling with.
It all sounds like great stuff, but make sure you go on her website, www.angelamarks.org. I went on there last night. It is amazing. I fell in love with it. She is doing a lot of great things, not only with children, but following her purpose and her passion from God. So make sure that you follow her. We have some more comments out here from Carolyn. Information, Pastor Marks from Worship Pure. This is good stuff tonight. We thank you so much. She was amazing, wasn't she? From Melissa, Angie, I could learn a lot from you. Will I is the question.
Yeah. That's me.
All right, absolutely. And good evening, Jocelyn. Thank you for tuning in. But thank you so much for all that information. It was amazing. You will have to come back so we can chat again. I really enjoyed this talk with you this evening. And again, I do work with children's ministry. And so I will be touching bases with you on that end as well. So I hope you have a good rest of your evening. I thank everybody so much for tuning in. And please visit me on my website, which is www.buildyourbestlife.org. It's www.buildyourbestlife.org. And out there, you can see my calendar of events. I have a blog that comes out each Monday. You can find out about myself as well as Build Your Best Life. You can also see the services that I offer, which is speaking, webinar speaking, coaching, and consultations. As well, you can get a copy of my book, um, Build Your Best Life. You can get an autographed copy of this book. I do have them in stock, and so you get your autographed copy right away. It has a lot of good basic principles, and it's what I teach by is basic principles. Those are not taught in school any longer, and it looks like in a lot of homes they're not taught as well. So I really rely on basic principles and biblical principles in teaching. So you can go out there. If you like Kindle books, Amazon.com does have the Kindle version of my book. So again, thank y'all so much for tuning in. I'll be back on Thursday. I do sessions on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then on Saturdays at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I will be back Saturday on the 1st, and we're going to be talking about goals. It's an opportunity. So please join us if you have the time. We would greatly appreciate it. If you don't have the time when we're on live, my posts and broadcasts, they stay up. They're on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, and they do stay up. They never come down, so you can always go back and replay them. And I appreciate that so much. And just remember, as you travel on your road to being a better you, there will be distractions, rough terrain, detours, and obstacles. Don't let any of those negative aspects of your journey stop you. Though they may slow you down, keep going to be a better you so that you can build your best life. And remember, building your best life is our business. That's not a slogan, it's our commitment. I love you. Be blessed, stay safe, and I hope to see you on Thursday. Bye bye. And thank you so much again, Angela. I love you.
My pleasure. Love you too.
Bye.